quick note, everybody, and I know I have a small audience, and I'm fine with that. But if you haven't been hearing already from Open Source News, the Black Conservative Patriot, or I feel like the Canadian Prepper is a little more extreme, but I kind of learned about him following the truck run in Canada, which was interesting, and how that sort of ended up getting resolved. Because I think he was talking about that too. That's how I learned about him. I don't know how to say this without just, I am on VTube. And I'm not a political pundit or anybody like that here. I'm just another voice. And so I guess it's another, I don't know what I'll put this under, guys. But hoard up some food, whether it's canned veggies, getting extra beef or extra chicken and freeze it, canned soups, dried soup like the Raymond stuff or whatever, get a few packs of that. Anything that you think might last a while, tuna in packets, things that seem to have a good shelf date. What I'm hearing doesn't sound good. And if the virus, and apparently we were already having issues with transporting, remember 2020 and early 2021, about issues of Butt Gig or whatever his name is, was on paternity leave, and I don't want to mention anything more about him. And all of a sudden, it was like the ports on the far west were just closed because of the virus. Things weren't coming in that we have imported from other countries. So, junk like this is going to be a luxury. We really need to watch our food, our water. When you go out, you see some water on sale or something, pick it up. I get this brand because it's cheap, et cetera, et cetera. Get some extra water bottles. You might need it. I can't say for sure. Nobody knows the future. But there could have been an overall angels and demons type of directive here or narrative here about trying to get rid of chubby people. I hate to admit, I got to almost 300 pounds myself over many years, eating wrong, not exercising, playing a lot of video games. Of course, some of that was before I had kids. I had kids in 2004, et cetera, et cetera. So, after we had kids, I guess upon the stress of work, trying to get to work on time, get what I call going around the world, where I'd leave the house, we'd drop off the kids, and I'd take my wife and I to work. And then, pick her up, go back to the school, pick them back up, and come back home. Things are a little different now, since one of them is driving. Yay, it's a little helpful, but I'm now stuck at home with that car. But it almost seems like the purpose of the virus could have been to help get rid of chubby people, because that's who was affected the most. If you were overweight or of a certain age, and whenever you tried to mention that truth, VTube and Idiot Book and whatever else would be like, you can't say that word, you're deleted. Oh, you can't say anything for 2 weeks, you're suspended. That stuff was going on 2 years ago. And it's the truth. And I got the poke. My whole family got the poke. I was against my kids getting it. But my wife was adamant, and I'm like, don't like this. And she kind of did it against my will. And I just found it funny that even when the boosters came out, my doctor was like, by that time, even my doctor, he's like, don't worry about getting the booster. Things are better, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But so we were already having issues with supply and demand 2 years ago. They can't blame that on Putin. You can't blame everything on Putin. And I had to pause my video because I had to do some Putin too. So anyway, stock up on some food. Even a little junk food. But, you know, something that will last you a couple of months at least. You know, a lot of people I listen to are even talking about we should be growing a lot of our own food. And we're trying to grow something, and we've let something die up here. Something's dying downstairs. Plants. And there's only, of all the stuff that we're trying to grow, only one thing is actually growing. And of course, this was my wife and my daughter's sort of thing. And so I haven't really helped. And my wife helped for a week or two. Then she just, nothing to do with it. But I think it was just like green beans and an herb and something else. Not tomatoes. We can't eat tomatoes. With her condition and my condition, tomatoes, and I used to love tomatoes. But things to think about. If you can, and you know, there's things you can buy. You can try to plant some seeds and make sure you get some, you know, sticks to help keep them growing, and have the plant keep strong. You put it put near a window. So hopefully it can get some good sunlight, etc., etc. I hope things don't get bad. I pray to God things don't get bad. And if you are a praying person, pray for us all. I've had this funny feeling for a couple of years before the V came out 2 years ago. Actually 3. Just things to think about. Think about yourself. Think ahead. Next time you go to the grocery store, buy a little something extra that you can put back, so you're not just going and hoarding stuff, because they're putting the stuff back up again, saying, oh, only 1 or 2 of these items you can buy at a time. So, you know, try to rotate. Oh gosh, you know, Kleenexes. There's no Kleenex. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, there's no baby food. Baby food? Guess where that mostly comes from? China. Okay? So that's one way to get rid of our youth, our babies. And then, you know, if they don't want us to multiply, they could put something in the water, mess our hormones up, and end up loving the same sex or something. I don't know. So weird things to think about. Yeah, I just put my tinfoil hat on there for a second, but help yourself. I hate to say, you know, be selfish, but think ahead for your own family. I've already got an extra thing of some soup, like ramen. I call it oodles and noodles because that's what it was called in the 80s. Downstairs, I don't know if my family's seen that. They're like probably going, what's that big box of oodles, the Raymond's Pride doing up there, or whatever they call it now. So even if the worst happens, and I gotta get back to work, despite our health, if it keeps us alive, we'll eat it. Okay? Even if it's candy, and we shouldn't eat candy. My wife really shouldn't. I shouldn't. But if it keeps us alive, we might eat it, you know? Even though I'm type 2 diabetic and she's got something worse. that she also has to maintain a couple of things. And there's a couple that I became good friends with that I think are subscribers here still. I'm not sure. I love them very much. If they don't know it or they don't think I do, I swear I didn't yell. Next thing I know, bleep, they're just gone. It was really strange. Of course, we had some really bad weather coming through that night, and that's, anyway, in the past. But please take care of yourself. Think about your food situation, your storage situation, and somewhere you can go if it gets really bad. I don't believe, I take everything Glenn Beck says with a pinch of salt, because he can sometimes tend to be the little boy that cries wolf. But just think about yourself. I listen to a lot of people throughout the day as I work, and I really, really thank every single one of y'all watching and following and listening with me since 2013. 2013. Gamers Need Christ. Been around that long. So take care of yourself. Think about your future. Think about your food situation, your storage situation, and your family and your immediate family. So depending on where you are, whether you live in a city or maybe more suburban area or in the country, think about your surrounding area, the people that are around you, etc., because it's going to take all of us. Forget what color you are. Forget your hereditary. Forget your history for a second. We are America. Love your neighbor as if treat your neighbor as the way you would want to be treated. That's how we should live. More to come. Thanks for watching.